Hey, Frugal Travelista here. So I'm in Durban, and Durban is great so far. It's tropical-ish. It kind of reminds me of California, actually. It's like lots of greenery. It's super warm. It's got water. People live on the beach or next to the beach. There's surfing, surf culture. And Durban is a city north of Pretoria, and Pretoria is north of Johannesburg, and Johannesburg is north of Cape Town. And actually, Durban's in a different state, a different province. They have provinces here. There are 9 of them, and the province that Durban's located in is called KwaZulu. KwaZulu. I'm mispronouncing it, but I'm close. KwaZulu Natal. So it's two words, and that province is different than the Gauteng province, which is where Pretoria and Johannesburg are, and then Gauteng is a different province than where Cape Town is. So literally, the Cape Town's in the Western Cape. And another really interesting fact about Durban is that it has the largest Indian population in the world outside of India. Really. The most Indians in the world outside of India live here in Durban, South Africa. Didn't know that, did ya? Helpful fact number 1. Oh, the other thing you should know is that not only are there a lot of Indian people, of course there's Indian food. Some of the most famous food here in Durban is actually curry based. There's one called bunny chow that I'm going to try. There's like all kinds of, there's worlds of curry, like restaurants called World of Curry, House of Curry, da da da. I'm so excited. So I've never been to India, but it's kind of cool to be hanging in a city where there's a huge Indian influence. So you're gonna have to just pardon this puffy eye. If you saw my bee sting video, you know this is a residual of a bee sting. But back to the fact that Durban has the most Indian people outside of India. Another interesting fact I learned about South Africa is that this is the only country in the entire continent that actually imported slaves or enslaved people. And the importing of enslaved people did not begin with Africans, black Africans, like the world thinks. It began with there were lots of kinds of slaves in the world, but the point is that the Boers, the Afrikaners, those people, the Dutch, those who are essentially responsible for apartheid, brought with them, when they came to South Africa, they brought with them enslaved Indian people from India and enslaved Malaysians. And so those were the first 2 groups of people that they were enslaving on this land. And because of that Asian slave trade, there is a huge number of Asian people here that came initially during that kind of influx. And then of course afterwards, you know, and even before. Let's not start the history of the people with enslavement. I know that. But I'm just saying that that did create a huge influx of Indian people here in Durban and in South Africa. And also another thing to know, under the apartheid system, Indians were actually the second highest race of people under white people. And so the ranking was white folk as like the top, Indians immediately after, and then colored, and then Indian as in native, as in indigenous. What are the name of the indigenous people? The Sun people call them the Sun people, but the name that they call themselves, I just can't recall what it is. But the Sun people were second to the bottom, and then on the bottom were the black folks in Africa. How are you gonna put the indigenous people of a land at the very bottom of a hierarchy you just created because you wanted to be a jerk? So anyway, that's how that works. And so that's a little bit of history. Of course, it's not the full story. If you want to learn more, read a book. I'll be reading a book. I'm just getting the tip of the iceberg here, and I'm sharing what little bit I know with you. But I think it's definitely worth learning more about because it's an interesting history. And so, and it shapes the present that we all share. I'm in front of the Moses Mapida Stadium, which is one of the jewels here in Durban. It's an architectural kind of highlight. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful stadium. We just got done with this amazing exhibit. I'm going to fill you in. It's well worth it. It's here at the Moses Mapida Stadium, and it's only 20 rands. Pay the 20 rands and give another 30 as a donation. It's well worth it. It's good history. You meet the curator of the exhibit. It's stuff that you wouldn't know unless you went in, and you get like personalized attention. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome.
uyabona nabanye banamawivu nje asifani kuhle umuntu wenza into yakubo ngithi sikhululekeni. Are you guys ready for some sponsor? These are like the best sponsor dancers you'll ever come across in the city. 4, 3, 2, 1. Look at this face. I know that you're the sure. Look at this life. I still don't know where it's going. I don't know how much, but I know I love you.
Another thing about Durban that reminds me of California, of San Francisco in particular, are the hills. There are hills everywhere. You could climb up hills and down hills for days on end in this city. And in the background you can see the water, just like you can in San Fran. Frugal Travelista here. Over and out.